Narcissists, sociopaths, these people are well known for being emotionally distant, emotionally unavailable. But why are they so cold hearted compared to people who have the ability to feel and open up their emotions? There's not necessarily one easy answer that applies to all, but there is a certain pattern that applies to many, if not most. And it has to do with their conditioning in early childhood. Many narcissists and sociopaths were, ra- were raised in a household where their caregivers were distant, and maybe they would have experienced certain traumatic events throughout their childhood. And even if there were no traumatic events per se, it's likely they wouldn't have had their emotional needs met as a child. And it's likely that there would have been some form of abuse, whether physical or emotional, in the household. And over time, these people would have learned that exuding warmth, trying to open up your feelings and heart, would have been met with either punishment or deafening silence. So basically, the child would have been punished every time they tried to open up their heart to another or find good in another, trying to level with them emotionally. But over time, that punishment for trying to open up your heart, that silence, over time the child would have learned that they need to safeguard their own heart and emotions from further pain. And so the most logical next step for them growing up would have been to close down their own heart, hardening their own shell and coming into this place where their emotions become less deep but more shallow. It's all about reducing the pain they would feel. And this is the personality of these people coming into formation as they grow. They start to become these emotionally shallow, closed off people, but then they realize that other people don't tend to like cold hearted, distant, emotionally distant people so much. So as these people who are, narcissists and sociopaths in the making, try to bridge that gap between not allowing themselves to be hurt, but also wanting to be liked by others, they work on creating this facade, this fake persona, which is likable and which is relatable. And that's where, through practice and living and learning, they start perfecting the art of exuding this charm. Of course, it's a fake emotion, but this effective charm, the fake empathy, the love bombing techniques, which can be quite impactful. All these ways and techniques start coming together after many, many years of practice. So narcissists and sociopaths, they can mimic behaviors of empathy, but then they almost take it up a notch by pretending they're super empathic. And that's where you have these things being translated into the love bombing charm that these people so often have in abundance. But it doesn't matter what kind of facade you have or the impression you make initially. When you get too close to these people, you do start to witness that cold, empty interior. There's nothing really there. It really is empty. But once you're in their hook, they do want to harvest your warmth, your compassion, and have your empathy for themselves. But over time, as they suck all that from you into a black hole, there's not much left of you. And so you do start to have that feeling of crumbling, basically crumbling into oblivion. You feel you have nothing else. That's how you nourish these people. That's how these people survive and thrive.